All right, everyone, by our clock up here, which I try to keep track on, and Mr. Lynch is going to tell me, okay. It is 6 o'clock. So at this time, we will call our September meeting for the Macon County Board of Education to order. We are very sad that as y'all know, we're scheduled to be in Highlands tonight, and due to the conditions up there, we relocated here. So, but we will get there. We'll look at our calendars and move forward and make arrangements for that. So, I would, at this time, if everybody would, please ask you to please stand. We're going to observe as we have our moment of silence and our pledge of allegiance. Tonight, our moment of silence takes on a much more somber note, at least for me personally, than what it has in the past. As I listen to the news and see the tragedies that are besetting the people of Western North Carolina, we here in Macon County, we're very, very fortunate people, very fortunate, but they were not. And so let's keep them in our prayers. I think we'll investigate ways if we possibly can. I know the Sheriff's Department, for example, Brenton's been volunteering to go help over there and everything they can. So let's keep that in mind as we bow our heads and have a moment of silence. Thank you. Now, if you would join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, everyone. Please be seated. Yeah, the board felt tonight to show continuity and continue on that we felt like we would have the meeting tonight. And I think that was the right decision. I know that within our system, we have people that are struggling. I think as far as how we're going to have to approach things, and COVID is one thing, but this was something totally different. Number one, for things that's threatened. We have had unfortunately, some fatalities here in Macon County, and I'm heartbroken to hear about those. And it's just not a good scenario. But we just felt like keeping it going. Continuity was important, so here we are, and we're going to take care of business tonight, and hopefully make the right decisions and move on from there. Okay. First is the approval of the minutes board. We have both regular scheduled meeting on August the 19th, regular scheduled meeting, and our emergency meeting we've had on September the 6th. I think we all had a time. Hopefully, everyone's had time to review those. Short notice, but I think we have. Any questions, changes, corrections? Hearing none, I would entertain a motion.
So moved.
I have a motion to approve. Do I hear a second? I have a motion second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? So moved. Next is the approval of the agenda. What I do want to add under policy, it'll be the first thing with there. Joshua was talking about, we need to talk about, we do have a policy in paper regarding practicing for athletics while school is closed. At that point, that'll be the first thing we'll talk, even above Franklin High School Lights Academy. We'll go ahead and address that. So for my notes is that remind me to bring that up. And Mr. Lynch will brings up the speed on that, and we'll probably need to take some type of action tonight on that. Just so, again, that continuity thing as we go forward. Mr. Lynch?
Yes, sir. We will amend the agenda. We had spotlight on people and programs that we were going to do at Highlands, and we will continue to move that part of the agenda to our Highlands visit, and that will be a forthcoming board meeting, probably in spring semester, and we will get that on the schedule, but that'll be forthcoming, so we will move all of that to our time at Highlands. Also there under overnight out-of-district trip requests, number 1 and number 3. During a principals meeting today, due to fuel shortages and things of that nature, I think that we need to go ahead and just remove those from approval. For the next 2 weeks, we don't need to be taking any field trips due to fuel. And we talked about that in the principals meeting, and everyone agreed in that regard. Also, under, it would be L, curriculum and instruction. Number 3, let's add the FHS ACT half day, and that will be Mickey Note. He will address that as a proposal for approval moving forward. So that is L3 under curriculum and instruction, FHS ACT half day. Mickey Note will present. We will also amend letter N under business and finance. Our auditors were not able to be with us today due to travel, so we will remove number 1 and we will put that on a forthcoming agenda as well. And that is it for all that I have.
Okay. I think right now we keep on track. We'll get there. Maybe they'll skip over something. Mr. Andy, anything?
No, sir.
Todd?
No, sir.
Okay. Board members, anything?
The only thing, Josh, I would ask you maybe when you bring it up, or if you know anything, I mean, I'm just personally curious what other superintendents, like, how can we help schools? Are there things they're saying they need? Do you have status updates on any of our
I do, actually.
school that we know about?
I do, and what I would be glad to do is share those as they are coming in. The main thing that the superintendents have asked are just thoughts and prayers. They are compiling their list, and the thing about it, there are a lot of schools that our regional superintendents have yet to even make access to due to floodwaters and things of that nature. And looking at just the initial assessments, just like Jim had mentioned, we were blessed here. There's a lot of destruction throughout the western region that hopefully once they're able to compile a needs list and assessment, that we can look together to provide aid and assistance and support as they begin to just work through all of the decisions they're going to have to make moving forward. But I will definitely keep the board apprised of that. A working spreadsheet is being constructed now by Jack Hoke, and he is helping out with that endeavor. And so we will definitely assist where we can and give support. So I appreciate that.
That's several changes to the agenda. Again, I think that's all. Any last chance, any other changes, additions? Hearing none, I would take a motion. We approve the agenda with the changes that have been announced.
Motion to approve, including changes made.
I have a motion that we approve. Do I hear a second?
Second.
I have a motion second. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? So moved. We'll take a little bit of leniency since we don't have our spotlight on people with programs. Real quickly, I want to brag on you guys a little bit. One of the things that the North Carolina High School School Board Association recognizes is the training that school board members do during the year. And we were one, I think in the top 20, we were one of 20 systems in North Carolina that received what's called the Gold Bell Award, which means each and every one of y'all achieved at least 12 hours of additional training over and above what we do. And so we were recognized with that being listed, and we'll receive that when we go down to the conference in November, recognized that way.
That's great.
Yeah. The second thing, this is totally unannounced, but I'm going to do it anyway. One of the best comments that you can always get, compliments I think, is when it's unsolicited and it just, someone feels like they're impressed enough and they're so impressed by what someone's done, they just send it in. So, here's one that came in. I asked her if she would leave it here for me. And this is just about our superintendent, Mr. Lynch. Just a little shout out from me. Mr. Lynch has visited each and every school throughout our district this year. The visits have not been quick in or out visits. They have been visits of taking time to open car doors, visiting classrooms, chatting with staff, having lunch on campuses, and the list could go on and on. In addition to his school visits, our office has been a revolving door, and he has taken time for each person that has entered the door of each person that has called his office. As I think everyone here in our school system should know, we are extremely lucky to have Mr. Lynch in his leadership. So let me say thank you, Mr. Lynch, for what you've done. As I said, I was going to come out too often, so you deserve a bit of it, so thank you.
Mr. Chairman, if I could piggyback on that real quick, I meant to tell Mr. Lynch that I knew he had done some of that because he opened the car door for my little niece Holly the other day, and she said, "Do you know my Uncle John?" And I told her. Don't say, do you know who I am? Because it was getting close to I can do whatever I
I
want.
said, honey, let's pull over here. We need to check.
What can I tell you? Yeah.
It's an honor to serve. I really do enjoy it. And I'm blessed to serve with each of you as well as my leadership team. It takes all of us working together. And I tell you what, I'm so proud of our district and our principals and teachers and educators and families. It is quite an honor.
But we as a board are very, very happy and pleased with the performance of our system. As we've said before, it's just it's a blessing. And it's also nice to work with a board that gets along with each other. We all have the same goals, and that really makes things nice compared to things I hear from other districts. So enough said. Thank you, Ms. Lynn.
Thank you.
That was well deserved. Public comments. I don't know that we have anything. Is that Greg? Oh, here. Okay. It's empty. I don't think I got anything on there.
Well, it's going to be a hard act to follow here.
Is there anyone here that would like to address the board at this time? About educated, whatever, gone. Very good. Moving on, first is our overnight out-of-district trip request. As Mr. Lynch has said, we will be deleting both the request numbered as 1 and also the request number is 3 as you do the strings. All the others appear to be in order. I will ask the board members, do you have any questions of any of the overnight out-of-district trip requests at this time?
None for me.
I would entertain a motion.
Move to accept as presented the overnight out-of-district trip request excluding number 1 and 3.
We hear the motion. Do I hear a second? Second. Motion is second. Any other discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? So moved. Very good. Sorry, I got through my paper here. Fundraising requests. I've reviewed those and I asked Renee to first. All of these are repeat requests. We've had these in the past. There's nothing, I don't think any request here is new that we've never seen before. But I'm going to open the floor. Any questions any board member might have concerning any of the requests that we're now considering? All right, I would entertain a motion.
So moved.
A motion that we accept them as presented. Do I hear a second?
Second.
Have a motion, a second. All in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? So moved. Fundraising requests. And I think the same thing on this. Renee, was there?
You just did those.
That's what we just did.
You just
Now-
did
so we- Now we're on policy.
Policy. I knew it was going to be a struggle. Here we are. First, as we said, we're going to do that practices for athletics. Mr. Lynch, I'll turn it over to you before I embarrass myself no more.
You are good, no worries. So the item that we added to the agenda regards our athletic policy regarding practicing games during school closure. And our current policy states that when school is closed and not in session, that we would not engage in those activities. And received some correspondence today regarding what that might look like across the region as well as across the state in terms of the recent damage of Helene and what everyone is going through. So they ask us to just consider, if we could be somewhat flexible with that policy moving forward so we can complete and compete in a timely manner. So that would be something we would need to consider. We currently have a board policy that states we would not participate when school is closed. So if that is something we want to amend or think about, then that would need to take further action.
Well, the clock is ticking. We have kids that here, they're able to do so. So the longer we wait, the more impact. What I propose we do, board, is to give authorization to Mr. Lynch to make that decision on his review of the situation. And if the coaches feel like other athletes can get there safely, do things, and I think we should give him the authority to make that decision. That would be what I propose we do at this time.
Does the policy have to be changed, or can
I think we just do maybe just a one-time, I'm looking at
for this
John.
one time?
Waiver?
I haven't looked
Do
at
the
the text of any
circumstances.
policy about it. I don't know, is it explicitly in the text of the policy that way? We can always go back and change text as needed, but if you all are saying well, that is your policy, we'll get that part fixed. And for now, your delegation of superintendent is good. That's it. Yeah.
Okay. That's good. Anyone else, any other suggestions?
Do we need to indicate that's for like a
Time
season
period.
or a set of weeks? Is that,
Yeah, I'd probably just say for the coming month or something like that. Probably that'd be more than what we need, or until the end of the first semester possibly. Let's just do it that way. Good question.
Current season.
It'd be fine.
I would think maybe current season, and then we can reassess.
okay.
All right, I'll entertain a motion.
Move we, sorry, I was writing while I was speaking. Can't do both. Move we authorize Superintendent Lynch to make the determination on sports practice outside of the school window, up to his discretion for the current season of
Current season.
sports.
Here, a motion. Do I hear a second?
Second.
So maybe the question briefly, Sarah's bringing my attention, I'm not sure I was clear about that. Is the motion just practices or practices in competitions? Because isn't competitions part of the question?
Competitions is part of the wording as well.
So Stephanie, was that your motion?
Sure.
Yeah, we made it.
So both practice as well as competitions.
Have a motion, amended motion, which is all agreeable, and had no discussion. No, all in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? So moved. Very good, Josh. Thank you for bringing that up. Franklin High School Lights Camera in Action Proposal. Mr. King.
I forgot this to be on here, to be honest. This first year it came to us out of kind of a club to help enhance language arts. There's a lot of interest in film and theater and all that, and just having a club where these kids can dive deeper into it.
So have you had a chance to review it, Mr. King? And you're expressing that you
Especially
should
with
approve, correct?
especially with the sponsor of it.
Right.
I trust her. Sorry, it's kind of, I guess, sideways.
Yeah, if you want us to see if we can crane our neck, Tim. Anyone have any questions?
Typically, this is, our policy is the kid writes a presentation, they find a staff sponsor, and they submit it to us, and we submit it for approval.
I was just wondering, is there any kind of credit, high school credit they get for this, or is it more just like a
It's more
club?
like, not like high school credit, but it is something like Interact, or all that they could put on a college application saying they were involved in something just other than school.
I have one more thing, saying this. When we go to the school board conference, they always have a video competition. See, lots of schools, they, show the whole conference, and they put these videos that they submit, and they can win prizes. I thought that would be an awesome project, if this is approved, it would be an awesome project for them to submit a video to that conference this year in that competition. I've never seen Franklin have one in there before, and I wonder why, but when I seen this, I thought that would be a great project for them to recognize our school district at the school board conference.
I love
A
that.
lot of it had to do with what video software you have, but we actually have a phenomenal video editor on campus.
It would be awesome if we could get Macon County Franklin High School on there. I've never, all the years I've went, I've never seen our district represented in those videos. And I'd love to see that happen if it could. I mean, I know it's not too far off, but it'd be awesome if it's something.
I'm sure if it's approved, they'll say, heavily.
Entertain a motion.
I make a motion to approve.
And do I hear a second? Have a motion and a second. Any other discussion? All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? So moved. That's like a little pressure there, Mr. King.
I don't know, can they go on the national and get the,
I'll send them
there's
a
like a
link.
theme, isn't there?
Yeah.
Like, they can get the
the old guidelines.
Yeah, the guidelines and the thing.
It's a great thought, Missy, thank you. Coming up and not seeing those, you're right. Good work. Look at that. NC prayer certification and single set of assurances. Mr. No.
Yes, this is something the board has to approve every year, and it's North Carolina Prayer Certification and Single Set of Assurances. It's the Elementary and Secondary Education Act of 1965, and it's the Every Student Succeeds Act of 2015. And basically what the certification is as a condition of receiving funds under this act, we hereby certify in writing to the state educational agency that no policy of the local education agency prevents or otherwise denies participation in constitutionally protected prayer in public elementary and secondary schools. So this is just something that we've got to certify and turn into the state every year, so it just needs board approval to do so.
Questions? Would entertain a motion?
Move to approve as presented.
A motion to approve the prayer certification and assurances as presented. Do I hear a second? Should not anyway. Any other discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? So moved. Long Center update, MOU. We'll see Brooke here.
For that one, Brooke is not here,
Okay.
but Ms. Washon is really versed in the next two for the Long Center and for the Heights updated MOU. So Ms. Washon has agreed to discuss that with you guys.
Okay.
Yes, so the only change to these MOUs is that Mr. Henning wanted us to put some PBR language in there to update. Brooke and Ms. Keener and I both met with the Long Center and the Heights separately about the MOU, and we've all agreed we want to keep those going. It's been a wonderful, successful MOU between us, and so there's no other changes in that MOU except to update the language that Mr. Henning approved with PBR.
And I'll just briefly say, you know, having these arrangements put Macon County Schools a little bit ahead of the field in terms of having interlocal sort of arrangement with the local agencies to do threat assessment work. And now this is required by law, and with everything that happened in Winder, Georgia, and it is wildfire throughout the district, throughout the region, unfortunately, with students having threat assessments in the wake of that. So it's been utilized, it's needed. I highly recommend you continue those relationships.
Okay. I'm going to take a separate action on each one of those rather than combine them because they are different. So first, Long Center updated MOU. Any questions? Hearing none, I would entertain a motion.
Move to approve the Long Center MOU as presented with the changes shown.
We have a motion to accept as presented with changes made. Do I hear a second?
Second.
We have a motion second. Any other discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? So moved. The Heights updated MOU. I would entertain a motion.
Move to approve.
I have a motion to approve. Do I hear a second?
Second.
I have a motion second. Any other discussion on that? Hearing none, all in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? So moved. Provision of pre-employment transition services. So no, is this you?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
This MOU is entered into by Macon County Schools and Westbridge Vocational Incorporated for the purpose of providing pre-employment training services during the school day to qualifying public high school students with intellectual and/or developmental disabilities to make a successful transition from high school into paid employment. So basically, it helps them with their job transitions, and Mr. Henning has helped write this MOU and has gone over it as well, correct?
This is not new, is it, Mr. No?
It is not, no, sir.
This is just...
We've been contracting MOU with Westbridge Vocational in the past, yes, sir.
On the back up.
Yeah.
Board members, any questions? Hearing none, I would entertain a motion.
Motion to approve.
Motion to approve as presented. Do I hear a second?
Second.
I have a motion second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? So moved. Resolution in support of the quarter-cent sales tax. Mr. Henning.
Yes, sir, Mr. Chairman. As you all know, there's the upcoming referendum ballot. It's an advisory referendum on whether or not the county should consider a quarter-cent sales tax. I don't believe it's binding, so we'll need further action from the county if it passes, but first and foremost, let's try to get it passed. As you all know, it's been considered and voted down recently, and I don't know that we did enough to make clear support for it in the community, clearly. Having said that, one of the things you have to watch out for is you can't spend any resources, you can't spend any taxpayer money of any kind to promote something like this, but you can educate, and the board itself has its own speech rights. I've been impressed that Mr. Lynch and Ms. Burke have done a great job kind of fielding requests for how can we support this coming in from like your business advisory council and groups like that. So I think we're doing this in an appropriate fashion. This is your opportunity as a board to say this is our official position on passage of this. We do highly recommend it, and here's why. As folks may be aware, there are other local option sales taxes, Article 3942, that the entire state has got at this point. 46 is in about a third of them, I think. So this is where it's been passed. It's an advantage to the educational community because a portion of it is required to be spent on educational purposes. So I think it's appropriate for you. Now, this is my take on how to word a resolution supporting this referendum. You are completely free to change it in whatever way you see fit, but I think this was my draft of how I think you should state the board's support for the referendum.
No problem in our approval. There's nothing proving me so in advance that we forward copies of that obviously to our media outlets, and then they can do with it as well. Hopefully, I guess if they see where I'm headed, I'd love for them to put it out there so we can see it. But that'd be totally their call in terms of how to do it. There's nothing wrong with us doing that, correct?
Not a thing, no, sir.
Very good.
You are speaking as a board, and you have speech rights too.
Good. Questions, board?
Just one correction on my name.
No. Oh, yeah.
You know,
I'm so worried about getting your
it's a
last
fun
name
spelling,
right.
but it ain't right.
like that.
Sassy.
I would entertain a motion that we approve, subject to the change of one of our board members' names, to correct that, shall we say.
Hey, dude, I got yours right this time.
Stephanie had to suffer, but that's okay.
That's okay. Keeping you on your toes.
I entertain a motion to approve. Do I hear a motion, please?
I will move to approve.
Have a motion to approve. Do I hear a second?
Second.
Have a motion, a second. Any other discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? So moved. John, as far as our policies go, again, honestly, and I have to confess this, with the lack of internet service, I'm sure the board members have not had a chance, so if you just want to hit a hot spot or two, we're just going
I
to move forward.
completely understand that this is just presented on for first reading, so not any big deal if you haven't, and if you need, as you know, take as many readings as you need for any or all of these. As you will recall, we've been moving chunk at a time through each of the series of the policy manual to get it completely up to date. This is everything that you need to be up to date through, I think, the spring updates from the School Boards Association in the 6,000 policy series. This will, when we get this completely done, this will move us to a point of 8,000 and 9,000 series are it. There's not that many. There's maybe 10, 15 total between the two. So I think we'll take that in one whack, and we're real close to being completely updated, except for our periodic updates. We'll continue to get. So most of these, I think you're going to find are not too bad. God, does it always sound like I'm singing for my supper when I do this? You'll find most of these are really kind of just updating references and things like that. There's nothing earth-shattering in any of this. But I think that's all you need for tonight, is commit your review.
Sorry, John, I couldn't just give you a hard time. That's probably inappropriate, I'm sorry.
You gotta go a lot further than that to insult a lawyer.
I encourage everyone to read those over. Like I said, we'll have them out there again at the next meeting. If you have any questions, we can review those. As John said, we might always stipulate that at the next meeting will be the first reading, and however y'all would like to proceed.
Yes, sir.
but someone may have had a chance to review it. Does anyone have any questions of John on any of the policies they'd like to ask at this point in time? No. All right. Thank you, John. Curriculum and instruction. I think I'm right here. Appalachian State University Gear Up Grant. Mr. No.
Yes, sir. As you're aware, we received the Gear Up Grant, which is a huge bonus for us. Ms. Wishon has helped me throughout the process, and we've sat in on Gear Up meetings. We've fallen a little bit behind just because of all the things going on at App State right now currently, but we're in the process of hiring a Gear Up facilitator for our county that's going to be in charge of most of this. Ms. Wishon has got a big leadership role. So does Ms. Laney, wherever you are over there, Ms. Cave, and also myself and a new hire. So this Gear Up program is going to be really big for us. It's going to bring us somewhere in the neighborhood of about $150,000 to $200,000 a year for at least 7 years minimum, and it's just going to bring a lot of great things into our schools and our community about opportunities for college for our students. So we're really excited on moving forward with this, and just excited that we've got the opportunity to do so. So thank you guys for all your support, and thanks for Ms. Wishon for helping me with all these items that we've had to do. And Laney.
Congrats. That's
Great
a big
opportunity.
deal.
Thank you.
Any questions from Mr. No, board members? Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion that we approve the grant. Restate the grant, please.
Move we approve.
A motion that we accept the grant as presented and we'll receive it. Do I hear a second? Second. Any other discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? So moved. Staff development update. Mr. No.
Yes, sir. Our first half-day staff development is going to be October 30th. Ms. Strickland has done an awesome job recruiting Patrick Briggs. He's going to be our avid speaker, and he's going to come to the Performing Arts Center, and he's going to do a workshop from 1 o'clock to 3:30 on that day for just about every faculty member in Macon County. So we're really excited to learn about that opportunity. During that training, he's going to talk about the 4 pillars of our Macon County School Strategic Plan, which is professional development, technology, curriculum and instruction, and community engagement. He's going to cover those items, and he's going to talk about how Avid can bring those professional developments into our schools and into our community. So we think that's going to be an awesome opportunity for everybody to hear from the ground up about exactly how everything starts. So we're really excited about that. Our second opportunity is going to be on February 26th. That's another half-day PD that the board has allowed us to do. And on that PD, we haven't planned that one yet. We're basically going to find out what Avid's going to look like and to see if that's going to follow through to that second PD. And if it doesn't, then we're going to go in a curriculum direction. And that's where we're going to get the math teachers, English teachers, history teachers together and do some staff development stuff countywide on that day as well. So thank you for the opportunity for these 2 half days. I think it's going to be amazing getting our staff together and giving them the opportunity to talk about things and to see firsthand from the ground up what Avid's going to look like for us possibly in the future.
Yeah. Thank you for your work on that. I think teachers will appreciate it. Questions, board members? Very good, Mr. No. You've been busy. Buildings and grounds.
One more.
Oh, I'm sorry. ACT half day. I'm sorry.
Yes, Mr. King has been concerned here in the last couple of days with the October 8th pre-ACT date. That was the day that the board gave us the authority to do a remote learning day so that all the 10th graders, approximately 300 or so, can come to Franklin High School, have a remote learning day, and they can take the pre-ACT test that's mandatory by the state. When Mr. King and the rest of us feel like there's a chance we're not going to have internet services by that time, so Mr. King had suggested and had a discussion with us today about the possibility of moving that to the October 30th PD day. So what that would look like is Franklin High School on the October 30th would have a half a day pre-ACT. Then pre-ACT would end up approximately between 11 and 11:15. Is that correct, Mr. King?
Yes, sir.
And then that would give his staff plenty of time to go to the Performing Arts Center by 1 o'clock. And that saves us basically a half a day of learning. Instead of taking a whole virtual day, we would just be requesting a half virtual day. And then October 30th also encompasses the testing window for the pre-ACT to make sure that we've got time to get it in. And those dates, Mr. King has checked on that, and we're good to go for that date as well. So I guess what I'm asking the board to consider is moving our virtual day on October 8th to the half-day PD day on October 30th, and that's for Franklin High School only.
And then the 8th would just be a regular day again.
Would be a regular school day. Correct, Mr. King?
Yeah, and my concern too was if these kids are out Thursday, Friday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and then turn around and have another virtual day, that's not helping anybody.
Right. Especially if we don't have, especially if we don't have internet.
Questions? Somebody goes right. So what we request to do, Ms. Noah, is move October 8th will become just a regular instructional day. Instead, we'll have a half-day, ACT half-day scheduled for October 30th.
Yes, sir.
Right?
Yes, sir.
I would entertain a motion.
Move we approve as presented by Mr. Mill.
Do I hear a second? Motion second. Any other discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? So moved. Now we'll build this grounds. Mr. Lynch is not going to touch his elbow over here. You're up there, Mr. Lynch. Groundbreaking ceremony.
Thank you. So Macon County Schools is proud to announce the official groundbreaking ceremony for the new Franklin High School, and that will be Friday, October the 18th, beginning at 10 o'clock. And it will be, of course, there on site at FHS, and it will be on the track. And we will have a very fun, festive-filled morning, a lot of guest speakers to be able to come and take part to pay homage to Franklin High School. But also our current student body will be involved as well. And just a fun time for the community to come together, and everyone is invited out. We will have some light refreshments following the ceremony for everyone to mingle about and partake in that. But what an exciting time and what a journey this has been, multiple years in the making, but the fact that we can actually announce a groundbreaking ceremony, I think, is monumental, and I'm excited for this opportunity for our students as well as our entire community. But I wanted to make that known in public for everyone.
Well stated, Mr. Lynch. I think all of us are more than excited. I'm not quite sure what word I'd use, but I did. It's huge. This is huge. Very good. So I hope everyone marks the 18th on their calendar, and we hope to see everyone there. That'll be great. Middle school track update, Mr. Gibbs.
Yes, sir. I was out at the middle school track today, and unbelievably does not look like a swimming pool. It is dry. Before Helene came, the subcontractor had, I believe it was a concrete dust mixture and more aggregate and mixed into the track to set up a proper base for the asphalt. And they got that down before the rains came last week. And again, it's not inundated with water, so they're gonna let it dry a little bit and then hopefully lay the asphalt down on it. There is still a little question. Asphalt has to be down for 30 days before they can put the urethane on the asphalt. And there is a temperature requirement to be able to lay that urethane down on top of the asphalt. A little concerned about that because we're now at the start of October. 30-day cure time gets us into November, which is frost, so we might have to just see how that goes temperature-wise. I don't think we want to lay down that urethane when it's too cold. That'll not set it up well, and it won't last as long as we want it to. But things look good out there. It's not a quagmire, fortunately. Ready for asphalt.
Good.
Highland School construction update.
Yes, sir. Talking about another groundbreaking, Kevin All with Vanoy Construction has talked about a groundbreaking for the classroom additions to pre-K remodel sometime during the week of October 21st. He's not said the exact date yet.
He was waiting to hear back.
They're still planning, but that's the direction they're going, because they are going to start mobilizing on the 28th of October. Actually moving, digging, working, etc. So that's moving along. The burners, the LP burners for the boilers have been installed, and lines have been hooked up. I believe in regards to the heating oil tank that's in the ground that would be underneath the addition, I think we're waiting on North Carolina Department of Environmental Quality to determine what we exactly have to do with that tank. And once we hear back from them, then we can proceed on with the direction with addressing that tank, because the county commissioners, fortunately, and we appreciate their direction on that and voting to approve our action, whatever DEQ says we can do.
Correct.
So that one's kind of in a hole, but there is some progress with the groundbreaking.
Good deal. Highland School soccer field update.
Yes, sir. Still, we have this proposal to Wade Trim to design a total refurbishment, replacement of materials on the soccer field, which is the most permanent solution that I've gotten from two different people, Wade Trim included. Their proposal is for design fees is a total of $46,450, which is $2,000 less than the original one he sent to me. It was a $2,000 less in design phase services. But I've not given him the okay, or we've not come up with a contract for him or anything. Just wasn't sure where we wanted to go with that.
I'd like to postpone any action on that a little while longer, to be honest with you. Hillary and I had a chance to talk with people from Highlands after the commissioner meeting, and there's some interesting things we might be able to do that way, to go and save money and satisfy and take care of those situations. So before we spend, I'd much rather hear from those guys, and I'll have Hillary follow up before we agree to spend $46,000.
Totally agree.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
But I'm not forgetting, because we do need to move forward as possibly can. But Hillary's on board with waiting, so.
Yes, sir.
Y'all know. Then Hagel wastewater.
The RFQ expired last Friday, and I have had 0 responses of any designers who even wanted to provide their qualifications in hopes that they would win the choice to design an underground wastewater treatment for Nantahala School.
And that was sent directly to the people the commissioner requested to send it to.
Yes, yes. And that was advertised in the Mooresville, Thomasville, Hickory newspapers. It was also advertised in a minority periodical at Charlotte, because that's a requirement of law. And in Asheville Citizen, we've not gotten any response at all from the request for qualifications.
Do you know how to do septic?
I shouldn't have done it. I think you want me to do it.
It looks like we're gonna have to dig it ourselves.
I'm not sure where to go
I'm
from
kind of at a loss, you read my mind, I'm kind of at a loss. I don't know what else we are going to be asked to do, because we brought a viable alternative. The cost of it was higher than what they wanted, but it's still a very viable alternative. And we've now gone back, is this the third or fourth time we've gone?
This is the second time for the RFQ.
But we've gone before the other thing, so.
Yes, sir. The first RFQ was advertised locally, pretty much.
Correct.
Franklin Press, the Andrews paper, and the One Feather, I believe. This we tried to just expand to see what we could get. I did talk to a couple of people who don't install, but they were going to call, I'm sorry, they are installers, but they're not designers. And they said they were going to pass it on to some designers. They do, and heard nothing in return.
Mr. Chairman, I do think that at some point revisiting, and it may take, at this point, it will take restarting the process of finding a design builder. And you know, you all, this board knows the process we went through to actually find a team willing to work together to be the designer and builder for that. It's such a specialized project. Before the new property was added in, I still think that at some point it's going to take something. This is not such a unique set of challenges to design. I think we're going to have to revisit something like that at some point. And I think it might help to have some discussion about willingness to see, and I don't know whether you all figure out what you tell me what's best, but having the commissioners willing to see either expand the RFQ to say it either needs to be an in-ground system on the newly acquired parcel or something else, if that's your recommendation, and give us alternatives. If you want a designer to say, here's what I can design for you, rather than just have nobody answer about what they can do on the newly acquired property. Or do much the same thing and say, design build team, go design and tell us what it's going to cost to build, and we'll do that phase of the contract separately. But that's the way I can see one of those two things is going to need to happen to get some kind of traction. Because clearly, beat to fit the idea it has to be an in-ground system is not the design community that can be found with any kind of reasonable diligence, and this is that and then some, I think, doesn't appear to think it's viable. And I'm no engineer by a country mile, but I think I see why.
But I'm picking at you, John, but I think this whole thing about the RFQ about the design, that's what we were trying to do, and there's been absolutely no response whatsoever. Correct, Todd?
Correct. The
Yes.
few people that I talked to, the one installers, my feeling was, it wasn't that they couldn't do it, it's just that it's in Nantahala, it's a long ways away, they're not sure about the soils, there are just some unknowns and knowns that just didn't go together, was my feeling.
Right.
So is there more information that they need from us to be able to?
I offered, I sent them flow rates of what we're discharging right now. I sent them what we have currently. And again, my feeling was from them, was not that you can't do that. It's just I never got a reply for any qualifications, a submission of qualifications.
Sorry, Todd. If they want to find out from an RFQ standpoint what they'd be dealing with, they'd be completely free to come up and take soil samples, do survey work, whatever it is they thought they needed to do, and nobody said anything.
Which we've already done that, not in this process, but 2 years ago
Right.
with Harbor Construction, where I met with them up there twice, and then they went out and got Black & Veatch, an engineering firm, to work together to devise something that would work for Nantahala Schools wastewater treatment. And that was the one that came back $650,000. It was too expensive.
And Mr. Chairman, to your,
$100,000 on property.
to your point, Mr. Chairman, the RFQ that we have been going through was with the idea of come design this for us and didn't get us anywhere. I think an expanded RFQ that says maybe give us alternatives if you don't think an in-ground system here works, then what does? And you might get a proposal that's something like a package plan.
Yeah, can we stage where we just need to replace what we have? Design what you feel works best.
Can we
do
go
something like that?
Can we go ahead and do that now? Can we authorize that tonight? Okay.
Me too, I mean, just keep, I
Is
know
the current one still
Deidre has
on the
worked
other
diligently to try to get
It's-
attention about this, and we can't get any traction.
It's like an old car, it's got some Bondo on it. The tires don't match, but it's still going down the road.
Barely.
That's an experience.
It may have, some loose, way too descriptive, but it's still going.
But we could potentially put this new one out now, right? And then have either a response or a no response by the November commissioner meeting that we could say, here's our progress or lack thereof? Is that kind of what we're thinking?
I entertain a motion then that we move forward with the issuance of a new RFQ, using John's guidance in terms of expanding what we're actually requesting, and see if we get some response in terms of design and build and have those type of things. Does that work, John?
Yes, sir.
I will move that.
Have a motion.
I'll second.
Have a second. Any other discussion?
I will third.
All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Have a very responsive
I'm just
board
wondering,
tonight.
what
Impressed.
will you do if nobody will take this?
That's my question. Can we go back? Can we say,
Go back to the original?
example A, B, and C resulted in this? and you ask this, and then, okay, can we please re-enter in a conversation with Harper? If they'll have us, if they'll have us,
I for sure will,
right,
and say, this is coming. Just want to give you a heads up.
okay.
I think just to make sure that we don't encounter any kind of statements about the process whatsoever, because design build is a little slightly controversial because it's just not as common. It's also not as clearly sort of, it's competitively bid, and that's the thing that I think is not, maybe misunderstood about it. It is still a competitive sort of process, because at the end of the day, if you're going to spend, say, $650,000 taxpayer dollars, you need to do it that way. But I think we might have to start at the beginning again, just to be able to take off of the table any kind of discussion about whether or not we went through the whole process.
Okay.
So, but yes, we would be back to the position of if Harper and Beach are still, Black and Beach are still.
Yeah.
together.
And remember that 650 was, I think, 2 years ago.
Yeah,
Yeah,
right.
Yeah,
it's like everything else.
I'm sure it's good.
Very good. Groundwater monitoring.
Yes, sir. This is a topic that we've been doing since I've been here at central office. This is the monitoring of the monitoring wells and the water supply for the trailer park next to us. The state requires that we test that twice a year. We've worked with, God, they've changed names so many times. Whatever their name is now, Matt Wallace, who's from here, mother worked here. Yes, WSP, sorry. To monitor those wells and report back to us. And they submit all of the results of their monitoring of the monitor wells and the water supply well to the state. And they also submit the trust fund reimbursement application paperwork. Don't forget, we get 60% of this back as long as the state's trust fund for this type of thing is still has money in it, which it does so far.
Ask the same question every time, Todd. Is there a time frame that we have to continue doing this?
We have to do this until the water supply well is taken offline.
Discuss various ways. Okay.
While we're on this topic, Mr. Chairman, if I can step on my soapbox for just a second, because I saw some public comments made by a community member that are so far out of whack, and it relates to underground storage tanks. And it was a misconstruction of the fact that you all had to get with the county and figure out how you're going to remediate the underground storage tank at Highlands. There are rules and regulations that require you to remediate the thing when it's there. And that project in Highlands didn't put the thing under the ground. It's been in there for 60 years. And it doesn't have anything at all to do with the management of the Franklin High School project. When these things happen and they leak and they've been in the ground for long before any of us were on the scene or had anything to do with it, if you do not put the money in to completely remediate the thing as required and under the regulations at the time, this is the kind of thing you wind up with. You will monitor it for 1,000 years, and it'll still, one day you'll get to a letter of no further requirement sort of thing, and but it was the Highlands tank remediation was a necessity that didn't have anything to do with the current project there, and certainly had nothing to do with the Franklin High School project.
Thank you, John.
Thank you.
Well said. Well, very good. I'm impressed. I'm impressed, but that's good. Thank you for bringing it up. Kind of had the same, I read what you read, obviously. My thoughts were the same way. So. However, we still need to approve this, so I'll entertain a motion that we approve the agreement, correct, Todd, with the monitoring group. Do I hear a motion?
I move we approve.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? So moved.
Thank you.
Skipping the audit. Board members, what you have in, I think Laney and Josh, I'll open the floor and they can kind of discuss. I think what we're going to use is treat this as information right now. I don't think we're ready to sit here all night and start trying to prioritize. So if you haven't said that, Josh, you're letting the floor.
Sure. So we would propose that the board pick a date and have a work session where you could prioritize the 24-25 capital outlay requests that have come in. And that would allow us proper time to plan for those funds and for Lainey to continue on with her budgeting process moving forward. Do you need to say anything, Lainey, or anything they need to be aware of? Okay.
Just make a work session and we can get together and talk about it and budget it.
We've done some of that already, yes, I think earlier in the year. Miss had a great thought. I think everyone's going to go on the 18th. Is everyone planning on going to the groundbreaking?
Good idea.
Could we have that immediately afterwards? We have a work session here right after that's completed.
Yes.
Let's just plan on doing that. So I'll entertain a motion that we have a work session scheduled for October 18th.
Do you want to set a time, sir?
Well, time to be set based on the groundbreaking because it starts at 10, correct?
Yes.
Do you have any idea how many speakers are going to be or any idea of the amount of time it's going to take?
We're working on the flow of the day so we can get you a better idea of what that might look like in the next day or two. And so then we would be able to set a time based upon that.
Can we flexible there? We'll just go ahead and so we'll have it and then we'll have the time to be determined based on the 18th on the groundbreaking ceremony.
We will publicize it, yeah, we will, and we'll get the exact time.
Okay.
Okay, so I entertain a motion that we have work session 18th, the time of which to be established upon ascertaining all the other variables that come into play. Do I hear a motion?
So moved.
They have a rain date, or are they going to move to the gym?
They do not have a rain date. They do have proposed that we move it to the gym and have it a little bit more flex. So yes, that is in works and discussion as well. So that will be the date.
Okay. Have a motion, do I hear a second?
Second.
All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? So moved. Very good. Liaison report. Hillary's not here. Deidre, have y'all, is the liaison committee met? Anything, do you have anything to report? I don't think so. Good deal. As always, thank you for everything you've done. I know you've worked, really both worked very, very hard in connection with all the projects we have, so thank you. The annual conference, I think, is scheduled, I'm going to skip a little bit, November 18th and 20th. Renee, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
I encourage everyone, I'm going to take it on myself, everyone to check your dates. If you are able to go, please consider doing so. It's very educational. You get to meet a lot of your peers down there, share ideas, and learn a lot about the school system in general. So here's what's going to happen. If you are going to the conference, you will be a voting delegate. That's the way it works. So.
Made that decision.
Yeah, so are we now.
I want everyone to go experience what I've gone to for all of these years. You and I have set up ourselves. So if you're going to the conference, you will, because we can have up to 5. We can have up to 5 voting delegates. So if you're going to be a delegate. That's how it works. Enough said. There you go.
Yes, sir.
When do you need to know if we can go back?
As soon as possible. You knew I was going to say that.
I was hoping for.
We are in October.
Mid-October.
Okay.
I mean, worst case scenario, end October, but the sooner the better, of course.
And again, those, I don't think Hillary will be able to. It seems like it always comes in.
She never,
She
she has market.
But if y'all can go, please consider doing so. It's worth the trip. I promise you. Social media reporting. Mr. Henning.
Mr. Chairman, we've had discussions with the administration over the years about the ability to shut down the comment section on the district Facebook page. I'm a complete Facebook and all other social media phobic, so I kind of gather what I can about how these things actually functionally operate. But the legal question is, can you shut down your public comment section? And if you technically can do it, can you legally do it? And the answer to that is, if you close it completely, then you have closed, and you have the ability to open limited public forums, or you could open a public forum and just have people say whatever they want to say. But you have to be careful, because you cannot just you can't have any doubt out there about what kind of form it is and then go and pick and choose which things get posted and which don't. Because if you do that, then you're getting into allegations of viewpoint discrimination. What I understand now is it is technically possible to shut down and not have a functioning public comment section on your Facebook page and just do your own posts. And as we talked about earlier when we had the adoption of your resolution on the coercive sales tax referendum, the board has its own speech rights, and you channel those through your administration, and you post things that you want to say on your Facebook page. And if you want to do that and not have some public reaction place there, you get plenty of other opportunity for public comment. You do it every monthly meeting. You can choose to have more comment about things and on a sort of per topic basis without having any Wild West where somebody feels like they want to say, I get to say whatever I want to here, no matter how offensive or, that somebody else might find it. So I do think it's legally tenable to close down your public comment section on your Facebook page. And I don't know if does that pretty much cover the topic we needed to? I don't know if we're going to have the board give us the direction to go ahead and do that. We want to do, because I don't even know, have we been Facebook photos?
We have met in principals meetings, and it's across the board. They would like to disable the commenting, but we did not want to do that in the moment of a crisis or anything of the sort, and without discussing it publicly that this was forthcoming.
Right. Yeah, and the idea of opening up avenues for communication when you need them to say, let us know what your emergency needs are when something comes up, you can do that and not create this iffy sort of what kind of public forum is it? Is it everybody come on and speak your mind about whatever? So I don't think this hamstrings you from that, but I do think it's a good idea for the board to direct your administration to close those for the schools, and we'll, they'll continue to have ways to allow speech as appropriate.
I'll open the floor for discussion among the board. Thoughts? You want to table this, discuss it tonight, and then vote at the next meeting? I'm totally up to you guys.
I mean, principals are in favor of it. That's all that I need to know.
Have we talked to Hillary about, is discussing tonight and approving that in 2 weeks? With Hillary participating in that?
We'll be having a groundbreaking, and we have a work session, and we can do it at that time.
Well, our next meeting is the 14th.
The 14th, right?
Yeah, it's assumed, yeah.
Let's do that since Hillary's not here. I think it's a very good suggestion. I know where Steph's going.
I mean, I totally agree, but I don't need it. I mean, if that was the vibe, I get it.
Yeah.
All right, we'll be in discussion, not then we'll plan on scheduling a vote on that on the 14th.
We've been talking about it for years. There really isn't any harm in waiting a couple of weeks.
Okay. That's fine. Very good. Thank you, John.
Thank you, John.
All right. What have I missed? Anything so far?
No, sir.
No, you're on it.
You were on point.
I'm still sulking over here. Coming events, Mr. Lynch.
Yes, sir, thank you. So on Friday, at the end of the week, I will be taking a team to the chamber to discuss the happenings and the updates throughout the Macon County school system. On Tuesday, October the 8th, go ahead and disregard that day because that has since been changed on your coming events. Mark that one out. That was the virtual day that we have changed. On Sunday, October the 13th, we have FHS National Honor Society induction, and that will be at the Fine Arts Center beginning at 2 p.m. We will have the Monday, October 14th regular scheduled board meeting that Deidre had referenced. That will be at South Macon Elementary beginning at 6 o'clock. And the last event for that month will be Friday, October the 18th, the FHS groundbreaking ceremony that we discussed earlier, 10 a.m. And I would encourage everyone to come out and enjoy those festivities. And that is all I have, sir.
Very good. This time, it's up to the board now. We'll turn to Mr. Henry. Sorry, Mr. Henry, we already need to go into closed session, so Mr. Henry, please.
Yes, sir. The reason for the closed session is we set out in GS 143-18.11A1 to prevent the disclosure of privileged or confidential personnel information pursuant to GS 115C-319-321 and to the matter pursuant to GS 115C-402 and 20 U.S.C.-1232G FERPA, as well as 143-13.11A3 to consult with an attorney employed or retained by the public body in order to preserve the attorney-client privilege.
Yeah. We've heard the motion to go into a closed session over here. I'll entertain a motion to do so at this time.
So moved.
A second. All in favor, say by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? I'll make John read that again.
Had a great day, guys. It sounded like an officer.
It is a lot. And do I hear a 10?
That's right.
A few minutes later.
Hey, it's record breaking, you better wait.
Listen, girl. Yes.
At this time, the board will come back into open session. We do have one item of business, of course, in the personnel report. I'll entertain a motion concerning the personnel report, please.
Move we approve as presented.
A motion was as presented. Do I hear a second? All in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? So moved. Is there anything else that needs to come before the board at this time, board members? Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn. And a second.
Second.
All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? If you do, you're
Too late, hey, Todd. Can I?
very good. Thank you, guys.